So that'll bring up Cade Bickmore into the start house. It'll be Finn Mitchell next. Then comes Stephen Basset, Tyler Hartle, Ethan Crane, Kaylor Marshall, Alexander Murison, Kent Ross, and Blake Macheras. Gets us into our 78th starters of the day with 94 total guys left in this one. Matthew Wilson will be our final starter for the POA Racing Squad. Said he doesn't love time trials, doesn't hate time trials, so neutral about him, we'll call it. All right, more guys heading out there. Again, wind is reporting to be picking up just a little bit here. And we are now expecting the imminent arrival of a finish at any time. All right, there are your first riders coming back. That looked like an Apex jersey to me, so it was either Shallon, Klein, or Anderson. Those guys started at 30-second intervals, so wouldn't be surprised. And based on time of day, it's going to be about a 42-minute ride, something like that, if that was Shallon. So whoever that was, going to spend at least 30 seconds in the hot seat here. All right, here we go. These are finishers on the way back in. 13:44:30 for maybe Ben Anderson. So would put him at about a 42:30. Not sure if I saw Cooper Klein come in. I've only seen two of those Apex jerseys, but I couldn't tell you which two they are. Be looking at Tyler Mezzi, Justin Rose, and Julian Cameron, your next finishers on the way in. Into what I think is Evan Russell taking off. Check that. We still got a few riders to roll out here before Russell goes. It's probably Kaylor Marshall or Kent Ross from the Expeditors team. This is going to be Alex Martinek for Team Marna Foundations, presented by Georgia Cycles. It'll be Eric Berg up after him, and then we're into our last 10 starters to roll out of the start house. Sounds like we had a pretty good time roll in. Just a little bit ago. They're reporting Cooper Langard setting a new fast time with a 37:40 here. All right. So he must have snuck in right after those Apex riders. Langard with a 37:40, blowing the doors off of 6 of his 30-second riders. So we'll call 37:40 time to beat here. Meanwhile, next guy's taking off into the 148 block of starters for Tim McBurney. Also a breakaway artist yesterday. See how he does with some tired legs today. Here's some finishers on the way in. Alto Velo with Devin Wilson. How about that? Second currently is a 38:16. On the wheels of Jeremy Gourde, the Canadian for Mariloma Racing. So anything under 38 would get you onto the podium right now. Again with Cooper Langard at 37:40 and Jeremy Gourde at 38:16. Your two fast times right now. Let's see who this is on the way in. Gonna be another Apex rider. Back up to the start. We are into... This should be Christopher Ernst. He's going to be out of the Expeditors kit. We'll have Andrea Klorak, followed by Cameron Beaumont, Quinn Felton, Ricky Arnapol, Nathan Martin, Caleb Clausen, Sebastian Brennis, and Matthew Wilson. Your last few starters coming up here. We're into the final top 10 riders in reverse GC order rolling off the line. And we got our first finishers on the way in with Cooper Langard setting a blistering 37:40. That one might hang out for a while. Let's see. 40:14 for third place. That's going to be Austin Carroll of iSpeed Racing right now. And then Ben Anderson did a 40:50, which I think is good for fourth right now. There's Mike's bikes rolling out. That must be McBurney with 29K of racing for him. Here's Andrea Kloark. Speed block presented by Tarun. Beaumont, Felton, Arnapol, Martin, Clausen, Brennis, and Wilson. We're moving to 1 minute intervals for our last 10 starters there, so we'll slow down the starts up top as these guys come in finishing up their 30-second intervals. Give our GC riders a little bit more time in between them here. Here is Cameron Beaumont, who has been up there all week with Matthew Wilson. Beaumont maybe a little overshadowed by Wilson's GC ride here, but Cameron Beaumont starts the day hanging in to that GC scenario, just 8 seconds down on his teammate Matthew Wilson. So Beaumont absolutely going to be a threat for the GC. We'll see how things end up for that POA squad after the individual time trial today. Quinn Felton stealth mode here. Here goes Clark on the way out for the speed block squad. There's the countdown for Felton and the cyclesport.com squad off and rolling. That'll bring up Project Echelon's Ricky Arnapol into the start house up next. Caleb Clausen going to have a big weight on his shoulders today. He needs a good time trial to hang in here with these guys. Clausen at 8th place yesterday on the decline, 13 seconds back to the finish. So he needs to make up a little bit of time today. Clausen trying to come back from a 24-second deficit in the GC after yesterday. Wow, Race Radio reporting a new fast time coming in here from Ethan Powell of Tag Cycling. Just a 36:53. You'll remember Powell from yesterday's breakaway. So now Tag with your hot seat leader. After a day in the break yesterday, Ethan Powell, the Canadian, going to go 36:53 and knock Cooper Langard's 37:40 down to second. So now 36:53, your new fast time, as Ethan Powell will spend some time in the hot seat. Looks like we just got a look at Caleb Clausen getting ready to roll out of the start house for him. Starting to see some Mike's Bikes jerseys coming back. That was probably Eamon Lucas. That'll be Arnapol on the way out. All right, down to our last three starters. This is Caleb Clausen, third place overall at the 2024 Tour de Bloom. Tucked in and ready to get aero for Project Echelon. That'll bring up second place, Sebastian Brenes Mata. Lost the jersey yesterday to Matthew Wilson, but he wants it back. That Canel's Java squad came to play, a small but mighty team. Brenes starts the day 6 seconds back on the overall with a 6 hour, 37 minute, and 8 second total. Brenes away, and that'll bring up Matthew Wilson, your final rider to take off today from the POA Racing Squad, overall race leader. Last starter underway. Should all be on course. All right, so everyone has started, and 36:53 remains the fast time set by Ethan Powell. We'll let you know if any new fast times roll in here. We are about halfway through our finishers at this point, I think, with 94 riders taken to the start today. We're into riders starting around 35th, 37th, 39th, somewhere in there. A couple guys going to finish together here, including Eli Watson there. He started 33rd today for the iSpeed Pro Racing team. So about a third of the way through our finishers right now.
Hola Jorge, ahorita me voy a subir ya a la moto para ir a grabar normal. Ya acaba de salir el último corredor. Listo, me voy a subir. Gracias.
You can see these guys flying on the way out. It's a combination of both a tailwind and a downhill run on this section of road. See, it goes downhill all the way until they make that left-hand bend. That'll be the uphill headwind right-hander coming back to the finish. So Sting is definitely in the tail end of this course today. All right, more riders come through. I see a POA Racing jersey. That's probably either Eric Zuger or Zach Kowalczyk. You can do some quick math. And say if it was Zuger, hold on a second here, though. And Zuger would have done like a 41-45. And Kowalczyk would have done a 42-45. Probably Martin Acosta there. Hagens Berman, Seattle. Put him at 1401, call it 45. That'd have him riding at 47.45. So confirming that was cost to the Hagens Berman rider that we saw rolling through a little bit ago. 47.45 is approximate time. Really shows you how strong this Ethan Powell 36.53 is. Cooper Langard hurdling to second with a 37.40. You can also see how serious this wind is. See the Tour de Bloom sign up above. That's what I was talking about earlier. Race radar reporting wind gusts are increasing 16 to 20 mile an hour gusts out there. That is significantly higher, I would say, even than we had an hour ago when these guys started to take off from the line. So it is getting worse out there. It is getting windier, and that means it's getting tougher. And remember, this is a headwind on the way back, so it doesn't get much tougher than that. Jonathan Sue just rolling through the line, 14:05:30, we'll call it. For a 40:30 for Sue. If the order stayed the same, we'll be looking at Schroeder, Mullen, McCulloch, Rawson, and Romero on the way into the finish. This is probably McCullough on the way back in. Finishing up for high speed. That looked like an 05 to me. So that put him at a little under 41. Did see a Project Echelon jersey come in. Oh, maybe this is McCullough. I saw a Project Echelon jersey come in a little bit ago. I think that was Troy Fields. And that will be a pretty good time for him. I think it's going to be a new fast time. I'll wait for Race Radio to confirm. I've got him at a 36:30. And Race Radio going to say 36:25. So that'll go ahead and confirm Troy Fields' new fast time out on course as the Project Echelon rider will move into the hot seat here. Again, with a 36:25, knocking down Ethan Powell's 36:53 to second. Man, Project Echelon. Finding the power riders. A couple riders going to roll in together here. Maybe Jack Duncan. Is that a Mike's Bikes jersey? I think so. It'll be a 41-29 for Duncan that just rolled through the line there. I think that was a red truck jersey, which was probably Colby Mullen. He's going to go 43-30. $14.10 on the dot for Zach Rawson across the line. That's a 43-minute ride for him. Group of riders going to finish together here. Trevor King, maybe? This will be interesting to see what this does for GC with Troy Fields' scenario here. I don't even know if he's within striking distance today. Give me a second. Fields starts the day at 7:17 down. I doubt that we see Matthew Wilson give up 7:17 to Fields, but this ride's certainly going to get him closer. All right, so as things stand right now, Troy Fields with a 36.25. Your current fast time. Ethan Powell in second with a 36.53. Declan Kelly has slipped into third for Beachy Squajo with a 37.25. Then it's 37.40 for Cooper Langard in fourth. Sean Hollenbeck sitting in fifth right now for Expeditors at 38.08. Then Thomas Fuller in sixth with a 38.15. Jeremy Gourde in seventh for Mariloma Racing with a 38.16, followed by John Collier with a 39.04. And Oliver Hemmel sitting in ninth right now for Manteo Racing at 39.16. Those are your top 9 fast times right now. Again, with Troy Fields at the top, 36.25. Big gap in between riders here. I don't think we're going to be, we're not even close to being into the minute interval riders coming back yet. Just some separation out there on the road. I'm going to guess largely because of this gusting wind that, again, is being reported 16 to 20 mile an hour gusts out there right now. Sure does look beautiful from the screen. All right, should be looking at finishes incoming here for, I guess we'll be looking at like a 13:30 start block here. Theodore Schwartz, Manu Moore, Cam Fitzmaurice, Matt Hepworth. We did have Declan Kelly already in, but I'm not sure if we got those guys in. This one looking like a finish of a road race with a couple guys finishing together. Got the bike throw and everything on the front. Every second matters out there. For, I think it was Manteo going to the line. No real threats to the GC yet. Most of these guys turning in good TT times early on here are well down on GC, 9, 10, 11, 12 minutes back. So it won't be until the next 15 or 20 riders come in here that we start to get any real threats to Matthew Wilson here. We'll see if we can pick up some numbers through the line here. I think that was maybe Red Truck. Could have been Tristan Drews, maybe, somewhere in there. There's another Project Echelon jersey rolling through. Again, these guys are going to be well mixed in here at 30-second intervals. There'll be guys all over the road. It looked like Alto Velo. Maybe Florian Costa, 433. There's some guys flying on the way in. At least one POA in there. We also had, I think that Project Echelon jersey coming through was Stephen Basset. That's going to be a great time for him. They're going to report Bassett's time at 36:27. Good for second here. He won't quite be able to beat Troy Fields' 36:25. But now Stephen Basset going to slot into second with a 36:27 here. Ethan Powell down to third with a 36:53. And then Declan Kelly with a 37:25 in the fourth. Great ride there from Basset. Starts the day 2:28 down on GC. I think he should be fine for Matthew Wilson as well, but Stephen Basset doing what he does best, putting a bunch of power down over 30K here. So was that Ethan Crane, the next Project Echelon jersey here? I think so. Get a time calculating for him. That means we're waiting on names like Kaylor Marshall, Alexander Murison, Kent Ross, Blake Macheris, Evan Larson, and Stefan Schaefer coming up here. Be a 14:20, call it 05 finish for Mike's Bikes. With what must have been Taj Krieger across the line there. Project Echelon back through. Not sure who the... Oh, that must have been Sam Boardman. Not going to be good enough to crack a top 3 here for Boardman, but decent time. So now it goes Fields, Basset, Powell, Kelly, Langard, Bohannon, McGough, Hollenbeck, and Fuller. From 36:25 out to 38:15 for Fuller. Project Echelon back through. I think that was probably Ethan Crane right there. Wouldn't expect Crane to have a great TT time here. Not really his specialty in these scenarios. Plus, he's been working all week for Caleb Clausen up at the front here. Clausen and Arnopol both going to be threats on this one. It'd be interesting to see who runs the better TT here, and we're going to find out in about 15 minutes from now when they start making their way through the line. These gaps are huge. Remember, these guys start at 30-second intervals. What you're seeing is a lot of riders that are coming together and ending up linked up on this course. Here's POA back through, probably Finn Mitchell. Mike's bike's going to get one in behind him. Let's call that Blake Macheris, because we already saw Taj Krieger in. So it'll be a decent time for Macheris there. Blake Macheris at about 40 minutes, I think, if these results are lining up. Again, we do have our best top 9, but that's the only info available for now. We're doing our best to come up with some time of day finish times for these riders as they come in. Here's 3 together. Now I'm going to try and figure that one out. Troy Fields, your current fast time, 36:25, with his teammate Stephen Basset right behind him for Project Echelon with a 36:27. Only a couple seconds separating those two. Tag Cycling's Ethan Powell been having a great week. He was in the breakaway yesterday. He's third right now with a 36:53, and then 37:25 for Declan Kelly of the Beachy Squadra squad, and Red Truck in fifth with Cooper Langard at 37:40. So 37:40 or below gets you into the top 5. dare I say, it looks like this wind might shift a little bit. Looking at the we'll see if the times increase here as we are going to be moving into 1 minute intervals pretty soon. It starts with Evan Russell. We're into about our last 20 finishers right now. I don't know. It looks like a tailwind to me. Maybe it's just swirling in this bowl of mountains that this finish line is in. All right, Project Echelon through. I wonder if that was Ricky Arnapol. Oh, man, that is going to be a blazing time if that's Arnapol. I'll call his finish time 14:29:40, something like that. If my calculations are correct, that'd be around a 36:40 for him. Going to be pretty good, but not enough to beat Fields' 36:25. It's going to get him somewhere inside the top 5. I'm pretty sure that was Arnapol. Time would match up. He's totally capable of a ride like that, so I think that is... that looks like an Alto Velo jersey of Nathan Martin. That's going to be a good time, too. 14:30:24, let's call it. That's going to give him a 36:24. These guys are all slotting in under 37 here. Again, we'll call all these times unofficial. We also had some new times in for, oh, wow, these are going to be new fast times here. Hearing that Christopher Ernst is doing a 36:06 or just did it. And Tim McBurney is going to be the first to break the 36-minute barrier. He just did a 35:50. All right, so now McBurney, your fastest time with a 35:50. Ernst going to go into second with a 36:06. And that'll drop Fields down to third with his 36:25. The fast times continue to fall. So now Tim McBurney into the hot seat at 35:50. Ernst went just behind McBurney. They started one after another. And Ernst did a 36:06. Well, there's not going to be many guys left that can beat that 35.50. They're at this point, there's only 7 of them. Maybe less. Clock's ticking away. I think this might be our last finisher on the way. That might be Beaumont here. That would make a little more sense. That'd be a 42.10 for Beaumont. If that was Wilson, our final rider, that's a 36.10 for him. That might be more likely. In fact, I think that probably was Wilson. I'll go ahead and say it because 36.10 would line up with him perfectly. All right, so now we got to do some math because a 36.10 for Wilson and a 35.50 for McBurney, who started the day at, he started the day 56 seconds down. It's not going to be enough for McBurney to get into pink here. Ernst at a 36.06. He starts the day 55 seconds down. That won't be enough to challenge Wilson. I need to see what Sebastian Brennis does here. And then we'll need to get a time from Caleb Clausen as well. That's Brennis right there. He is going to go 14:34:40-ish. That's going to be tough. He's going to lose some time here with a 38:40 individual time trial for him. And I think that's going to be your last rider on course. So Matthew Wilson does a decent 36.10. Is it enough to keep him in pink? We'll do some confirmations and figure out our jersey scenario here. Unofficially, I think Tim McBurney going to be your winner here with a 35.50 on the day. He'll pick up a stage win in the individual time trial with just one more day of racing to go. Their final road race at Tour de Bloom tomorrow. We'll also have sprint and KOM points on the line there, so going to be an interesting setup here. Cannot wait to see what these GC gaps are once they do all the math and get this out. I have a feeling we're going to be in for what continues to be a pretty good GC battle headed into the last day of Tour de Bloom tomorrow. We're going to see if Rebecca on site can grab a word with some of our top riders here, including your stage winner, Tim McBurney, today. Stage tomorrow, they call it the Queen Stage, the Ed Farrar Memorial Road Race. In for a tough day of riding here for both our UCI women and our elite men tomorrow. Going to be doing 64 miles on the course, but just under 9,000 feet of elevation gain. So a little over 100K with 8,719 feet of elevation gain on tap tomorrow, including a beyond category finish climb. So there'll be some fireworks out there for sure. Going to be a good one, and we could very well see the GC change into the final day unofficially, I'm going to say that Matthew Wilson is going to hold on to the pink jersey here. We'll wait for official results. Again, try and get some interviews and get a podium going for our elite man coming up.
No, espérate, ahorita.
Uno, dos.
Whoa. I didn't know if you could. All right, we're here with our stage 4 winner, Tim McBurney of Mike's Bikes. We saw him in the break almost all day yesterday. I guess that wasn't enough. He still had some power in his legs here. Tim, how was the course, and how the wind seemed to play quite a factor today?
Yeah, it was a lot longer than most of the TTs we do during the course of the year. So getting adjusted to that 30K distance was the first obstacle. But yeah, really real strong tailwind out. So it was just about conserving today, saving the power for the turnaround, and then just giving it everything that was left on the way out, on the way back in. So yeah, definitely an exercise in kind of pacing yourself and staying controlled, and then just giving it full gas on the way back.
And we saw you start strong at Redlands. You said you were working a little bit on the mechanics of the TT. We know that's a big thing in this discipline. Every little second, every little arrow thing counts. Talk about that and how your team worked on that.
Yeah, we had lots of aero nerds on the team, and so getting lots of good input on gear and all that kind of stuff. And so we have some new equipment this year. Our Cervelo bikes are really solid, and then Pearl Izumi, our kit supplier, has these great new skin suits. So yeah, really good improvements on that front. And so yeah, just excited to be able to actually put it all together in a race result.
Well, it's awesome. You've been doing well all week. What have you thought about the stages here at the Tour of the Bloom, and then we have our final stage tomorrow with that finishing climb?
It's my first time out at Bloom, and I've loved it. It's really interesting courses. Like feels like a proper full stage race. Yeah, I like the longer road stages a lot, and it's just gorgeous up here. So first time doing it, but I'll definitely be back.
All right. Well, congratulations on a great ride today. We'll see how you end up in GT. You're just out of the top 10, but I think you broke the top 10 with this finish.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you.
All right. Congratulations. All right. So that's Tim McBurney with Team Mike's bike. We've seen him inching his way up a little bit per race, but finally got the win here at Tour de Bloom. He's going to be heading over to gravel, switching bikes for Unbound, and then but we'll see where he ends up later this season. But a great ride here in Palisades here in Washington for stage 4. We're going to grab Matthew Wilson, who's second today. Tim McBurney was the first one to go under 36. Matthew, of course, our pink jersey. We'll see how it ended up at the end of the day, but our current GC lead and finishing second. Matthew, surprised by your ride today?
Yeah, quite surprised actually. I kind of picked the number 36 minutes to go for out of thin air, just 50k an hour, nice round number, and figured that'd be good enough to hold my position in GC. I've only spent about 2 hours on that TT bike before and never ridden it with a difficult tri spoke, so yeah, I was just trying to maintain my position, so quite surprised to come out with second place.
Is it? I mean, we were talking earlier. You mentioned you've only been in the States for a couple of months. Is the weather similar in New Zealand as far as the wind is concerned?
Yeah, wind's about the same. I mean, obviously it depends on the day, but the road racing, I'm used to Tour of Southland back home, which is notoriously windy. And then, yeah, temperature, it's not too hot. It's just about a New Zealand summer.
All right, well, so a great second finish, and hopefully we'll keep the pink jersey. We'll see here in a little bit, but what do you think about tomorrow? There's a big finish. It's after a long 4 stages.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to tomorrow. I think it's going to be a good fun day. Yeah, I mean, my whole plan is really just to try secure the lead tomorrow. So yeah, it's nice to come into it already in the lead and having not lost any time today.
Not too bad for the team. You got the best young riders jersey with Beaumont, and hopefully we'll keep the pink jersey through tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the plan.
All right, congratulations and good luck tomorrow.
Cheers.
All right, so that was Matthew Wilson, our current pink jersey leader for here after the 4th day of the Tour of the Bloom here at the Palisades Time Trial. We are waiting for confirmation on that. We're going to set our podium here shortly. We're going to chat with Christopher Ernst of Expeditors. Of course, that team is a powerful team, a very deep team. They've got 3 past winners with Kaylor Marshall, Sean Hollenbach, and of course Kent Ross, who was our previous winner last year. Christopher Ernst, you just came off from Pan American Championships, right? What was your finish? What discipline did you do there?
Yeah, so I just got off of the track in Paraguay for Pan Am Track Champs. Unfortunately, I only did team pursuit, crashed out round 1, so unfortunately also got a concussion, so kind of hindered the prep towards Gila and then also Tour de Bloom, but on the way back, decent results, so I'm pretty happy with how the form's coming back.
Yeah, Podium is not too shabby, especially after concussion, and sometimes those can take quite a while to recover from.
Yeah, thankfully the team supported me really well. I pulled out of Redlands to just focus on the recovery and build properly towards the goals throughout the rest of the season, and they've had my back the whole time, both this week and last in New Mexico, so been really enjoying my time and glad I have the full support of the team.
Would you call yourself a time trial specialist? What is your what is your event and track that you specialize in?
Yeah, so both team pursuit, individual pursuit, and then also starting to transition more to bunch race. So Omnium, Madison, I did the national hour record back in January. So a little bit of everything, I'd say.
How does that come into your road preparation? I mean, that seems like quite a schedule.
Yeah, so balancing both the intensity of the track with a bit more endurance on the road kind of actually complements each other. So can do more of the VO2 and the high intensity stuff on the track and just worry about riding my bike on the road and enjoying it. So
we have one more stage tomorrow. What's the rest of the plan for the season? Are you heading to nationals?
Yeah, so I'll finish up here, then I'll actually fly over to Amsterdam on the 7th for a big roadblock with a Dutch team, come back for Tour de Beauce, and then national championships end of June.
All right, last question, just real quick, because Tour de Bloom has really pushed to raise the level here in Washington to have another 5-day stage race for you guys. I mean, though it's not UCI, what is it like to have another stage race on the calendar for you guys?
I mean, considering the number of races starting to go away is increasing year on year, which is quite unfortunate. Thankfully, I've had the opportunity to come here before, and seeing how the races developed since I last came here in 2019, it's fantastic to see. Like the support from the whole community here, and also the job Ace is doing, not just with our race, but the UCI women's race has been outstanding.
Well, great ride this week. We look forward to watching you the rest of the season. Thank you, Chris.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, so that's Christopher Ernst. He got third today behind Wilson and Tim McBurney. We're going to do a quick podium here, and then we will be back tomorrow morning for the final day here at the 2025 Tour de Bloom, going to up to the climb. It's going to be a great finale. Don't miss it. The GC is tight, so we'll see how it ends up. Thank you all for following. We look forward to seeing you back tomorrow. Check out interviews. We have plenty of coverage on Instagram, on our website, tourdebloom.com, with race reports, galleries, highlights, you name it. Get all your Tour de Bloom information and recaps there. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow.
Tú lo dale ya otra vez. Ahí sí no veo. Ahí está.
Did I flex? Can you see through? Photos? Can you see my abs? Too? So I can take a photo?
Wilson! And in first place, the winner of the Builders first time trial for the elite man, bib number 398, Tim McBurney, representing Mike's Bikes.
Can we pull those cans a little bit closer so the shadows out of their face? Yeah, can we? Yeah, pull it this way.
Put those boxes this way so your faces are exposed and not blocked.
Pull it out 5 feet.
Everybody's a critic today.
That's good. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
That's close enough. Perfect. Yeah, Timmy. Ready. That's right. Why not?
Great. Hold that. Nice. Cool.
Hang on. Let's get him in the sunglasses.
Oh, that's some new oaks. Got some oaks.
Those are going to match the kit real nice. That's pretty fast. Upgrade. Hang on. We got to do it proper. Yeah, flip it. It's pretty secret. There we go.
too old.
Leg and under.
Yes! 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 Yes!
Oh yeah, all four jerseys.
I'd zip the first one a little more. Yeah. Keep I'd zip a little more. Let me get the picture.
Come on.
I don't know, it's just a Snapchat, it's not.